Hey everyone, hope you're all doing great. In this video, I'm going to discuss about an interesting concept which is encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing but it's a process of wrapping data like variables or methods into a single unit and restricting direct access to some of the class components. You know about our tablets, right? Usually capsules. So you don't see like what is present within a capsules. It is basically encapsulated. So it's called as a capsule. You cannot see what is inside within a capsule, right? It's hidden. So you just take it and you just, swallow it. You don't know like what exactly is present within that capsule. So that's an encapsulation. So it's like avoiding direct access to certain variables or a method so that others cannot see those variables. Okay, that is where we use an encapsulation. So in order to explain this encapsulation, I'm taking a very interesting problem statement, which is simple ATM. We all have used an ATMs for different purpose, like for withdrawal, for depositing, or for checking balance, right? So we'll define a simple loops program, which works exactly like an ATM machine, and we'll see like how we can restrict, okay, how we can hide an access to a balance. How do we hide a balance from users so that they cannot edit the balance? Because like if everybody can edit the balance, everybody can become a Karotpati, right? So that's where encapsulation plays a very important role. If it's a public, accessible everywhere, people can edit. When it's a private, when you're hiding, it is accessible only inside. Only you have access, not really other people. Encapsulation, in the sense, it's like data hiding what is not really what is important and controlled access. It is just like hiding things which are not really important for a people. Securing kind of thing happens with a encapsulation. Okay, so basically now I'll show you how you can create a simple ATM. So you all know how to create a simple ATM. So we'll just start with a class. Yeah. So class ATM, we are creating a simple ATM. Great. And then I'll define. So variables, I'll just use double underscore and a double underscore self and only one variable. So basically, in order to operate with our ATM, you need to have a balance, right? Yeah. So, so I'm just defining a balance variable. So this is how we define, right? So self dot balance is equal to balance. Okay, done. Very first thing, I'm going to define a method for checking balance. I'll just define check balance. So check balance and default parameter is going to be self. And then when you check balance, when you click on check balance, it has to return. It has to return. Let's do format. The current balances. Okay, it has to return. Sorry. It has to return the current balances. How to get the balance? So it should be self dot balance. Great. Next one. I just want to define withdraw. What if you want to withdraw a certain amount? So I'm just defining withdraw and I'll call a self. And when you withdraw, you have to tell how much amount you are withdrawing, right? So I'll just define a withdrawal amount. Understand here, I'll show you how you can define variables within your methods. Okay. So withdrawal in the sense, if we write a condition, if withdrawal amount, the amount that you're withdrawing is greater than your balance. This is super important. Whatever amount you're withdrawing, if it's greater than your balance, it has to return. It has to return hey, insufficient balance in your account. It has to fail. Saying insufficient balance in your account. Okay? Else, it has to return what? It has to return the balance after withdrawal. Balance after the balance after withdrawing. How much amount you are withdrawing? So it's a W amount. Since we have defined this W amount within your withdraw method, so you need not call a self because it's not a class variable. It's not a variable defined within a class, right? It's a variable defined within this method itself, so you can call it directly. So is going to be self dot balance. After you withdraw something, obviously it should be subtract, right? So it will reduce withdrawal amount from actual balance. Okay, done. So this is related to withdrawal. Now let's try with deposit. Let's say what if you want to deposit certain amount? You got some money and you want to put that into your account. So you are using an ATM for it. So again here, when you are depositing something, you need a day amount, right? You should tell like how much amount you are depositing. You have to put a money there. So even here, so what will happen? So deposit, when you deposit, so again, I'll just say like a written. I'll just use a format. I will say the balance after deposit. The balance after deposit of, I would call D amount. You're understanding why I'm not using self, because D amount is defined within this method. It's not related to class, right? So is basically I'll just call self dot balance. Plus when you deposit, it's going to increase, right? So it should be D plus, I mean self dot balance plus D amount. That is a deposit amount. Done. So I'm just going to create an object. Jivita is operating an ATM. I'll call an ATM. So basically, you have to tell initial balance in your account. So it's basically 50,000. Okay, done. Perfect. We have created it. So now what I'll do, I'll just call G dot balance. So it's going to tell me the balance. Great. It says 50,000. Let's say I'm going to withdraw some amount. I'll just call G dot withdraw. I am trying to withdraw 20,000. So obviously, it's going to return 30,000. Once you withdraw 20,000, remaining balance is going to be 30,000. So, and I'm going to deposit like around 10,000. So we have 30,000 now. Once I deposit, my balance becomes like how much? It is 60,000. Somehow my logic is going wrong. It is not updating once withdrawal amount is calculated. So what do people can do now? Instead of defining this, so try to update your balance. Okay, when you are withdrawing, so make sure you make your self dot balance is equal to self dot balance minus withdrawal amount. So after every process, your self balance is going to update, so that you don't really face issue like carry forward. Okay, even here also, I'll just call self dot balance is equal to self dot balance. So since we are depositing here, it should be D amount. Okay, now it will work perfectly fine. Say balance is 50,000. After you withdraw 20,000, the balance becomes 30,000. After you deposit 10,000, 30,000 plus 10,000 will become a 40,000. So make sure you use a separate equation to calculate the balance after subtracting withdrawal amount, after adding deposit amount, so that the process will be bit easy and easy. Okay. So now the question is, we were speaking about an encapsulation, right? So we have built a simple ATM machine. Now the question is, can we update our balance? We'll try. Actually you can update the balance. So actually now balance is 40,000, right? So G dot balance is how much? It's a 40,000. See, I'll just update with some bigger number. Okay. So now just try to call our G dot balance. If we give this option, editing option of balance to everyone can become a crorepati. Yeah. So how to avoid this? How to restrict this? That's where we have a concept called as an encapsulation. So what do people have to do now? Wherever you have a self dot balance, you just need to put double underscore before it. Just add double underscore before your self dot balance wherever you see the self dot balance. So double underscore is basically used to secure your variable so that others cannot edit. So that others cannot edit the balance bar. Okay. So this is how you secure, just wherever you have a self dot balance, just make it. See here, it's not working now. If I try to call G dot balance, it's not working. Right. But I can operate G dot withdraw, it's working. See G dot deposit, it's working. Even if you try to set a balance, even if you try to set a balance, it is returning like this, but this is not the actual thing. Okay, see, I'll check G dot check balance. I'll just call G dot check balance. Do you think it will be updated? Actually, no. See, it's 20,000 only. Okay, so let me run from initially 50,000. You can check balance G dot check underscore balance. So if you check, it shows 50,000. Withdrawing 20,000, so it becomes 13. Depositing 10,000, it becomes a 40,000. Now, if I try to set the balance, it shows like it is setting, but if you check the balance, it is not changing. So that's how we protect our variable from unnecessary editing. This is how we hide, or this is how we protect our variable so that others don't have an access to it, others don't edit the variables. Okay, this is all about interesting thing about encapsulation, hiding things. Hope it's clear. Thank you. Happy learning.